Hello, this is Ken Ferrie with this week's Boots in the Field report. Been busy the last couple weeks between the farm show and doing in-person meetings finally. Actually getting to see a lot of you guys in person. That was great. In our second winter agronomy meeting, we went through some changes that we've made in the hybrid yearbook. One change we've made, instead of listing percent hybrids flex, we've changed that to actual grams. So instead of saying it flex so many percentages in girth, length, or depth, we're looking at that in the essence of grams. And then from there, we take the grams that they've flexed and we rate them based on all the hybrids in the database that we put together over the last 5 years. So hundreds of hybrids in there. What is the min, the max that they're flexing in different areas, and how does this typical hybrid you're studying rate among all the hybrids in there? As we see hybrids flex, girth is typically the least, followed by length, and then depth. And depth is the area of the biggest amount of flex. The question is how much a hybrid flexes compared to other hybrids. A hybrid may have 65% of its flex may come in length, but if that's only a total of 5 grams, it's not flexing much at all compared to other hybrids. As we explained in that second meeting, the hybrid yearbook is not meant to choose hybrids. It's meant to manage hybrids after you choose them. You choose hybrids first off of yield, and then we place them and manage them based on their hybrid characteristics. As we pick the starting lineup for next year, we should have some diversity in it. One way to mitigate risk is changing up maturity from early to late. And then we plant our early corn first and our late corn last, keeping our flowering window spread out. So we don't have all the corn pollinating in the same 102-degree week during pollination. When we work on placement, which hybrids in the lineup are going to be planted in which field? We want to take advantage of that field's strengths, and we want to farm around its weaknesses. Same holds true with hybrid. As we pick our hybrids that best fit that field, we must do the same thing, take advantage of its strengths, farm around its weaknesses. Knowing the weakness in your field is the first step of picking the hybrid to use to complement or farm around that weakness. The trick is to pick a hybrid that is defensive against the field's weakness. Now, what's considered defensive for one field may not be the same for the next one. Defensive in one field may be droughty soils where 7 out of 10 years a lack of water shuts that field down, and that's its weakness. In other fields, poor drainage. Maybe the field's weakness is high pH. As we showed in our hybrid plot results last week, picking the right hybrid is only half the job. Picking the right management for that hybrid is the other half. Some growers change their management practices to address a hybrid's weakness. Others use the same management practice across all hybrids. If you're not willing to change your management practices to meet the hybrid needs, you must pick hybrids that match up to your management. As Isaac, Matt, and I continue to work through yield map meetings with our customers, it's not uncommon to have a grower in the morning who says he's fed up with a hybrid's poor performance history and he's just going to cut it from the lineup. In the afternoon, his neighbor is in and he tells us how the same hybrid has earned its way on more acres on his farm because of its performance. The difference will be either in how they are placing the hybrid or how they're managing that hybrid. For instance, as we showed in the plots, semi-pendulum to pendulum leaf-structured hybrids capture 95% of the sunlight at low populations. Once we capture 95% of the sunlight, pushing populations just adds stress to the system. Being able to capture all the sunlight at lower populations gives you some defense against dry weather. Hybrids that are Gs and L1s, they don't like early season stress. Growers who use planter fertility with these hybrids tend to fare much better than a neighbor who has a naked planter. Hybrids that are not Gs or L1s may not respond enough to planter fertility to pay the bill, as we showed you last week. Now is the time to evaluate each field for its weakness as you pick hybrids that are going to be in your lineup for next year. This meeting should involve yield maps, soil test, and for sure your Pest Boss team. Use the hybrid yearbook to identify hybrids that can handle or help you farm around the field's weakness. Choose hybrids that respond to your management practices, not someone else's. As we showed you last week, our high maintenance hybrids that flex in G, L1, L2, and D. Well, they tend to do well in contest fields where growers are throwing everything at it but the kitchen sink. They're using high amounts of planter fertility. They're using late season N applications. They may be making multiple fungicide applications. If you do none of that, you'll be disappointed in that hybrid's performance on your farm. If the hybrid needs planter fertility to perform and you don't have that, maybe that's the wrong hybrid for your operation. This again is where the yield map meeting and the hybrid book come together. Plan now for where everything goes. Write that plan down and share it with your farm crew, especially the Pest Boss and his team. A lot of you have already got your seeds in to be sampled. Those that haven't, let's get that done. We're only about 30 days away from the kickoff of the 22 planting season. If you didn't pick up your hybrid yearbook at the meeting, give Katie a call and we can get that to you. The crews are starting the spring soil testing this week, so get your orders in for spring testing if you haven't. For those out there that are planning to come to this year's Farm Journal Corn Soybean College, we'll throw out a save the date, July 26th, 27th. More agenda information on that will follow. To stay up to date, check out our website at croptechinc.com and subscribe to our podcast, Boots in the Field Report. Keep her safe, keep her moving.